Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Wednesday, and we are here with Coach Caren. How you
Good,
doing this morning, Coach?
good.
We want to give a shout out to our producer. Um, Francine Gregory, she's on the road today. So I am pushing buttons. Hello. So, we're in for a lot of fun today. Francine is our real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. And so, hey, Fran, we wish you well in your
Yep,
endeavors today.
yep.
I'm
Have a good
Tara
one.
Alina from California. We're the Biz Chicks. And today is Wednesday, and we talk money on Wednesday. We're here with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada, to get our money mindset straight. So we've been talking a lot about sales recently, but I'm not sure what the topic's going to be today, but I do know that you need to run and get a pencil and paper if you don't have one, because she's always dropping great nuggets about how to improve your business and how to be profitable in a business that's fun to run. So, good morning, Coach.
Morning, everybody. Coach Caren here. And last week we talked about in a matter of the mind, right? So this whole month we're just talking about mindset, but it always involves money because it makes or breaks us and decide where we turn and where we go just when we hear something. So
Mhm.
last week we talked about the dreams that you were given, and you really have to believe it is for you so that you can go forward and do it. Like when your mom gives you something, you're like, you sure? Is it for me? Yes, this is for you. You got to do it. You don't need anyone to tell you once you're given it, you need to do it. The people who are supposed to come and help you will come. And lots of them are coming there so that you can be tested to see if what it is you were given, you're actually willing to put in the work to it. Because getting the gift is one thing, being talented is another. Learning the skills to perform, to bring that gift to life. Sometimes people get all cumbersome in that mix and they're not sure how to move things forward and where to go with the gift that they were given. So that's why I talked last week about believing and stuff. Today we're going to really talk about when you do it hard, you really fall soft because you spend all that time doing it. And even before I go any further, I'm going to stop right here before I even tell you what's happening today. I'm going to talk a tiny bit about having a gift and what goes into it. So I'm a coach. I'm a money mindset coach. And this morning somebody dinged me earlier and I was talking with them and said, that sounds so wide and broad. Well, if you're here to Biz Chicks, you know what I talk about. But if you're new to the Biz Chicks or you're catching us on replay, it is wide, but it's so narrow. It's about mindset and it's about money. And yes, I don't deal with debt repair and I don't get your credit score up. No, that's not where I look into. I look into your money story and the things and the thought process that you're telling yourself that keeps you stuck and not moving you forward. And on that same note, one of the reasons I'm coming out with a program called the 4 Hour Workday, it's because it's going to showcase to you how you process things that's keeping you thinking that you need to work so long in a certain area when really if you focus in on what is needed for the business and you work in that business diligently, you will be able to work yourself out of that business and be able to work on top of your business, which people like to say it's on your business. And so that's what you really need to think about. So the mind part that I work on, last time we talk a lot about sales and stuff and money, and the ladies know I love to make sure I'm doing some mixes. The reason we talk so much about mindset is because if you don't set up your mind in certain ways, you always will fall back into, oh my God, can I do this? Oh my God, can I do it? And you all around like a bobblehead, but not getting the important stuff done. So today we're talking about when you do it hard, you really.
Okay, we're into the bobblehead.
And the first thing we're going to touch on is giving yourself permission to be messy. You really have to give yourself permission to be messy.
Okay.
When I had my daycare, I had given my son, I love eating with a fork. My grandmother was a person who you set the table and you eat well properly. And so I've been eating with a fork forever. Once, I was living with her. And it didn't matter where you were, you were eating with a fork. So when my son started feeding himself, he was about a year plus, and I gave him a fork. My friend said to me, he says, Karen, all the food is going to be on the floor. I said, yes, but he's a guy that loves to eat. He's not going to want to sit on the floor for too long. So he's going to figure out how it should go into his mouth. He lost a lot of food, but he quickly realized that, he was empty, so in no time he was eating with a fork. She was so amazed. She's like, a spoonful. I'm like, we could go that route, but honestly, this is how we eat at home. So he's gonna want to follow in what's going on. There's two other kids. So he learned how to not let so much get on the floor, but mostly into his mouth. Yes, he had to pick up with his hand. Yes, it had to be messy. And I had to allow the mess. It was hard for her to see the mess. And that's what happened with us. We're busy getting everything in a neat pile and wasting a lot of time in that pile instead just saying, embracing, this is the mess. My desk is a mess because I'm at work. But at the end of the day, I could tidy it up. Rather than putting every book back and every paper back. It's just not a form of excuse that I talk about that people seem to get themselves into, but not even thinking it's an excuse because they're like, well, I can't work in mess either. But if I'm at my desk and I need to have several books open or papers around, I ignore it because if I need to get certain things done, I need to spread it out to see it for me. I need to spread it out. And most of us do. But if we're into the perfection mindset and that's happening, we can do that because we want it to be neat and tidy. We waste so much time literally making it neat and tidy. I once had a coaching client and she talking about her desk and we talking about her desk. I'm like, so how much work did you get done?
But her desk was clear.
Yes.
I think we went through a phase with that in the 90s and the late 80s about a clean desk means a clean, organized mind.
Yes.
And so people got in the habit of making sure that there was nothing on the desktop, and they would show pictures of executives with nothing on the desktop but their little toy and the phone and a blotter, right? And a pen set or something obscure.
Yes.
Okay. But they also did not show the fact that those CEOs had executive secretaries, 400 people working,
Who doing all the things that you're doing in your business.
and their desks were messy.
Yes, and that's the picture ready desk. Anytime you see a beautiful desk, that's a picture ready desk. I could take everything down and really stage my desk for you, and it's gonna look good. But that's not when I'm doing the work.
Okay. And so I think that's how a lot of people got hung up. My question to you, Caren, is, I find that my office gets messy, and then the morning that I really need to be doing serious work, I start what I call piddling. I start picking up. When in fact, the first thing in the morning is my best time, and I really should be making calls.
Yes, yes. And as I said, if you're the kind of person who needs to do to the end of the day, it's fine. But I personally have it on my calendar. So the end of Friday afternoon is when that happens.
Is when the cleanup happens
Yes.
for the weekend.
For the weekend, yeah. It's because I want to come back in Monday to clear desk. Now, having said that, if I had a really big productive day, like I'm working on my program, so all the courses are being written, I need to see everything laid out in front of me. I have it on Trello, yes, but the figure out in part and how it connects part is on either in notepads or book where it's laid out. There's pencil and erasers where I'm going to write in and take out and that sort of thing. That's how I work. So at the end of the day, the notebooks get just like stack up together and probably just lie there. Because also when I come back next day, I want to have some kind of a rhythm. But like the getting everything together, no. I used to tell people mornings are really great for me, but around 2 to 3 in the day, I've got this hour or maybe two where productivities really pick up. And it's from learning about myself. So I can know that that's a really juicy time. So that would be the time to write a chapter in a book. That would be the time to do stuff that I don't need to talk to anybody, but I would just be in my zone and I know that. So that's fine. And I'll work on that. So you need to know what time it is. But if you see you're picking up stuff in your office, you are really hesitating to do what you're supposed to do, what you must do. And that's a mechanism that's happening in you. That's a mechanism that you've set for yourself. So it's replaying itself in your brain and saying, I don't want to make the call, so I'll just tidy the desk. But I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't come that plain to you, but you just tidy the desk,
Hmm.
because you're avoiding making the call. Not that anything's going to happen. This is your avoidance strategy.
That's how I perceive it.
Mhm. So we got to give ourselves permission to be messy and just get in there and do what it is you got to do. Yesterday, Terry was on where she was talking. I'm like, yeah, like you gotta build that foundation. Everything you do in all my programs, I talk about foundation, foundational things, because a business is really nice and wonderful and dreamy like to talk about. And that's what people love, is that dreamy part of it. It's not the parts I come in and talk about. Or people who are building it out, it's kind of hard, or they're just stick on. So what degree in business you have? And I said to one lady, I said, if I was to have a degree in business, how would that help you? Because that's in my brain. You would have to go to business school, and I promise you, after maybe the first semester, if you're not into it, you got to get up and leave, because it's pretty boring stuff. Online, we've taken all that clunk, most of us who's building from the ground up, and really make it in a way where you can actually get in and dive in and do the work. But they have to. If you get a 4-year degree, they have to stretch it for the 4 years.
Uh,
So they have to fill it with all those fillers. Some good and some just ain't good, but they have to fill it with all the fillers.
some are necessary and some are not.
Exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. And I was interviewed this morning. I was telling a lady, it was just a quick chat to see if I want to get on her show, and I did it to see if I want to get on her show, because I don't want to be committed to things I'm not sure about. And I said I'm a certified. I got certified. I think I spent about a year and a half in a business school, but it didn't tell me anything I didn't know. But I've got a
Hmm.
certification. I even forget to frame the thing, because the thing don't make me do what I do.
Well, the thing is, do I really need an MBA to sell you popsicles?
Right?
I just need to know how to make change and have the popsicles available and let you know what corner I'm going to be on. Uh,
A long time ago, I was in the market home. This is in Guyana. And a guy went to a lady's boot stand, they call it, to buy something. And she was counting out the change. She was separating things. She had her money separate, like 10 cents from the quarters and what have you. And I guess he was in his suit and being a big jerk, said to her, if you just went to get a little bit of education, we wouldn't be saying, he was just be talking down to the woman. And she said to him, she was so simple about it. She said to him, she said, how much money you got in your pocket? Like, it just made him uncomfortable because people watch it, and he said, it doesn't matter. She says, I bet you I make more in a day that you ever will standing in that. So that suit alone is taking away some money. So you
Hello.
know what to do with himself. He said to her, you can keep the change. She says, no, you need this change. I'm counting it out for you. She was so calm about the whole thing. We were diving laugh because people see you simple and just assuming. And when I walked away, I was thinking about it. This woman could have been an educated woman. She just didn't tell him anything. She just allowed him to assume,
Hmm.
that she doesn't have a degree or whatever. That's why she's solid. She's got some more sense than you, buddy. And people do that. People tend to want to see a credential first, but a credential doesn't dictate how well that person can help you.
Well, my grandmother used to say, don't let your education exceed your intelligence. She went to the fourth grade. Now, my mother was a PhD. But she would, you know, but she'd say, wait a minute, you need some horse sense, girl.
Right? Those people are smart as a button, okay?
Yes.
Oh my God, they were so smart. So number two is correct as need be, because I said you could be messy, and correct as need be, as needed. and you're gonna have to do a couple of tries. You're gonna have to see what work for you. I really and truly, again, bringing that back to the table, where I'm gonna allow people to come in. It's really a group coaching program, if you will. Come in and see where their strength lies, where their weakness lies, and work on correcting and fixing and getting, not fixing for other people, but fixing for your business. Terry, I love to say your business is an extension of you. So you got
Mhm.
to fix some things for yourself. You got to give up some things for yourself to get there. I was on an interview with somebody who booked a 30 minutes with me, and I said to the person, you got to be willing to give up something. And she says, I don't want to give up anything. I said, how long have you been fighting giving up something? She says, 4 years. I said, well, look out for four more because you have to give up something. You can't hold on to everything. You got to give up something. And she booked because she's in panic mood right now as we speak. We got another session coming up. So she had a full hour, and she booked a full hour actually. And I mean, I lie on the lady. She did book a full hour, and she booked a second hour. So she's not using it yet, but she booked the 2 hours because she knew that she was just falling her tail because she doesn't want to give up something. And it's so simple. I said, it's not for a lifetime. Like sometimes you have to give up something for temporary, like a 6 months or a year. And when the year is finished, you realize that you don't even miss it. So you might not take it back up. Might be a good thing, but we fight to hold on to what we think we must have or what have you. And number three is rephrase any and all words with negative connotation. I can't do this. This is not for me. People like me don't have. Or, you know, any other thing that come to mind. And I think it was yesterday also, I was talking about me building out the Money Mindset Academy. This has been going on since last year. You guys know I've been talking about it. I just put little courses in there, but nothing big. And when the big dream came, that this is what I'm going to build out, I questioned it to death. I was doing all sorts of things with it. And then I just decide to let it be and let it do what it's supposed to do. So it wasn't showing up great. Just what I'm telling you, it was showing up really messy. A whole bunch of papers, really messy stuff. Like there's a lot of things I've written and got rid of. I mean, I was aggravated with myself because I wrote a whole program and then I squashed the whole thing. I wrote the whole program, typed it up, squashed the whole thing, make workbooks, and I was like, Karen, what's wrong with you? And then I cut myself. I take a step back and I said, the program is going to still happen, but these are the things that I don't want to put in it anymore. These are the things that are going to go to the wayside. These are the things when I do it, it's going to be the right time. I'm going to pray about it and wait for it. And some things, that's how it is. And I'm going to take back pieces I realized from some of it to use. But how I was developing it was not the way. And I tell you why. You have to have been in business already and fail a couple of times. That's what it will do for you. And it will show you how to start from the beginning. No, I still have it. It's still going to be from the ground up when I do release it next year in 2020. But I'm going to do it differently. But I think if I didn't go through the process of writing like crazy and getting that all mess out
Mhm.
of the way, I wouldn't be able to kind of like narrow and bring it down to what it's going to develop into. And you have to allow that mess because it's really hard when you sit down and putting all that power time into it. You're like, I don't want to do it over. But you have to think about writers. And I'm writing right now. When you write a book, you want it to be done.
Yeah.
But it's not done. You got to go back several times, but you just want it to be done. And that's what happens. And sometimes what keeps people away from writing a book. And if I'm going to do number 4 today, ask yourself what's next and get it done ASAP. Because there's the other thing. Once you go through the messiness, you do the self-correction and you take out those negative connotation and you start replacing it with positive things, you have to ask yourself what's next. Because when you don't, like any good goal, if you don't have something next, then you fall down the slides. You know how many people online, whether they ever tell us or not, who had big programs, who had really great successes, that is really in a slump right now, and they're not doing well in their businesses because they thought that this big thing that they created, that was it. And it would have been there over and over, and they didn't have to do anything. And then they learn once something's reach a threshold and they don't go any further. And this is even for colleges and universities. Our colleges here, you'll see they offer a program and then the program no longer is offered. It's still in their booklet and it says if we have 20 students, if 22 people signed up. And I only know this because I used to work actually at a college's office as an admin. And this program that's in the brochure, but it's no longer offered because
Mhm.
people don't sign up for it. But they're keeping it and tweaking it because I'd asked my supervisor, who's asked the manager, and she says, you know what it is, Karen? We're probably going to figure out how to either put it into a bigger program or offer it, but change up how we sell it to the audience, to the students, because things change. And this is not working for people anymore. That's why they're not signing up for the program. And we can't keep it, we can't pay a professor to teach five, seven people. It's not worthy. So we have to find a way to have enough seats in the, enough butts in the seats for us to be able to run this program. And that's what happened. Sometimes we have to understand some things have a shelf life. And even though we
Mm.
can use parts of it again, we might be able to use the whole thing. So because of that, what's next? What are you setting yourself up next? And then you write it down. And even if you can't flush out the whole thing, you still want to have a what's next. Because once you ask the question, here's the good news, the answer will appear. It'll appear.
Okay, hold on. So what's next? Okay, so what was number 3? I have number 1 was give yourself permission to be messy.
Mhm.
Number 2 was self-correction.
You're right.
Number 4 is ask yourself what's next. What was number 3?
Number three was rephrasing all the positive, any
Oh,
and all,
oh yes, get rid of
all
all the
negative
negative
connotations.
connotations.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, all negative connotations.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Because, ladies and gents, we're here on our own today. Our producer is out and about. And she filters out our stuff for us. So Terry's having to multitask a bit here. She's doing an awesome job though.
thank you. I think that's how you spell. How do you spell connotations? I'm not sure. Hold
CONDENT
on. CONDENT.
A.
ATION.
Yes.
Okay. That's condentations. I think we went connotations. But that's okay. That
Okay.
context.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So
I might be off a little bit.
okay. We got it.
Yes. So we want to know what's next, and we want to in the online business because we are not, we're academy. The reason we're using that instead of colleges and stuff, even though I noticed a lady, they were saying hers is college level. And somebody said to her, be aware when you say that when you're selling stuff online. Don't go saying that because it's not the same, right? Uh,
Mhm.
and you never know. I don't know what it would involve government wise. So I agree, don't go saying what you're taking from me is like if you went to college. Because A, it's set up differently. B, you're not a college. We're an online school and you name it whatever you name it, whatever your business is. That's where we are. What we are doing is taking all the stuff that you would have spent, months learning or years even learning, and we are condensing it. When you take a
Mhm.
group coaching program, it's a lot of practicalities in there. You can literally get up and go use it and do it. Most times when people don't do it, it's because there's a part of you that feels like this person, if no matter how they're qualified to the tilt, can't really help me get there. Some part of you feels it, even if you
Mhm.
never say it. But if you are trusting that what was given to you, what you're learning could actually work, then it works. The only way it doesn't work is when you don't think it can work. And the first time somebody said that to me, I said to them, are you crazy? I always think it's going to work. She says, well, it worked for you because you think it's going to work. So you're not facing that. That's why you're not feeling it. All right. When
Mhm.
I learned to sew, I know to sew since in school, but I actually went to a school and took sewing classes. Here they call it garment construction classes. And the program was a year long, and you could take beginners right up to, whatever. And I took the beginner's course, I took the intermediate, and when I graduated, if you will, um, the people asked me to teach there because I was helping a lot of students. I ended up working for the school for about 2 years. I was teaching, after just after graduation, because I was keen on what I was trusting that the teacher was teaching me what I was supposed to learn, and they were trusting that I got it enough. I didn't feel confident of myself, to be honest with you, but I was teaching the beginners level. And within a year, I got moved up to the advanced level because I had some sense and sensibility on sewing, if I honest with you, but I never actually had sewn anything, but I had the knowledge. It was there, but I hadn't sewn on a machine necessarily before. So I had to learn everything from scratch. But I guess it's the time and the dedication that I spent deciding if I'm going to go to school and learn it, then I need to come home and practice it. So the first month, she said you can wait, but the first month I bought my machine and I got home. And by the way, I was still running my business. So I got home, I get up early in the morning, I run my business, I take the class from about 2 in the afternoon until 4 o'clock. I come home, I get dinner for my kid. I only had Paul at the time. And I got my home ready and I was good to go. And so I made that dedication. And that's the thing you have to understand. When you're online, you take courses, you can say, well, it's online. No, you have to still treat it as though I am going to get a certificate, a degree, or whatever. When you do that and you understand from it, I'm going to grow my business. Like from it, I'm going to get a job. So why am I taking the 4 hour workday? I'm taking the 4 hour workday because I want to better my business. I want to streamline it. I want to systemize it so that I can use the systems and all the things I'm learning to run my business profitable. That's the reason you're taking the program. If you don't know why you're taking the program, then you fall through the cracks and you don't get it done and you don't see a client and you don't make any money. You say, well, the program was bad. No, you didn't do the work. You got to do the work. And sometimes the work might mean you have to get up in the morning and get the stuff done. I think one of the biggest things, and I was in this program the other day, a friend of mine, and she just asked me to come on board. And I mean, I didn't need to do the work. I did, but I did the work. So when we show up on the Zoom call, and I know I felt bad for that people because everybody's like, yes, I'm going to get to it. But I had the work done because that's what the lady asked us to do, to
Mhm.
come in, give us sheets, tell us to do the work. So when we show up, we could discuss the
Yes.
work. But if you don't do the work, what are you going to discuss?
And see, that is the difference between a program and a workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Because if people when people attend a workshop, they need to stop what they're doing. They've set the time aside and they need to actually put pen to paper
Yes.
in the event.
Yes. Workshops are really good for that.
If you're taking a course, then you need to do the homework.
Yes, there is homework. A woman literally contacted me and said to me, I don't want to do the homework. And I said, I want a course without homework. Yeah, I was dying. I was just laughing.
How can I help? I can't help you with that.
You got to do the work because that's the work that's going to lead you into whatever it is you want to accomplish, and we're going to start finish here in a bit, so I'm going to break down a little bit, if I may, Terry, talking
Uh-huh.
about the 4 work day, because I covered all four. Unless you have anything else to ask me, I
And
wanted
no,
to get this tiny bit.
I'm just going to ask you to summarize after you talk about the 4 hour
Work day, yeah.
work day.
Yeah, you want me to summarize first or after?
After.
Okay. So the 4 hour work day, I broke it down the other day because I was talking to a friend of mine. I said it's really three components. It's productivity, it's marketing, and it's sales. That's what you're going to get in there. Those are the three main things. And when I say marketing, we're online. So marketing online. There's a tiny component talking about offline because it's important to know. But what we're going to do in marketing is touching on, even if you don't want to be in all the different social media platforms and the way to do them correctly. But not only that, to pull and show you how you take them and what you do with them to market yourself. And once you're marketing yourself, that will lead you to the sale. You don't just run and say to somebody, hello, buy a lipstick from me. They're not going to buy it. So you're marketing your way towards the sale. That's what you're going to be learning. And the productivity part obviously is why it's a 4 hour workday, because you're going to learn how to be very productive, not with my system, but teaching you how to form your own systems, how to create your own system. So the system for your business and your business is going to be different from mine, but you need a system, because when a system is in place, there's going to be things going wrong, but so much less. I mean, the Biz Chicks are here Monday to Friday. You guys know what we talk about. Wednesday, I'm on Terry's social media. Monday is coffee talk. Thursday is health. Friday is tech. The girls, the ladies have a system. They know what they talk about. They come at the same time. They tell you the same thing every week. More information we're giving you, and we're always here wanting to share. It's not a choke around our neck. This is what we do. We want to share. You can bet your bottom dollar on it. Now, if you got a business and you scatter all over the place, yeah, you're going to make some dollars, but here and there, it's not, the consistency won't be there. It'll be, again, here or there. And that's what it's all about. My sales page, we'll get it next week, so that if anybody's interested, they can sign up. I'm going to post on the BizChicks a countdown where you can just sign up to get information when you're ready. But the real actual where you buy button is going to be for next week. Just letting you
Okay.
know what it's about, why you need to take it. If you all over the place, as I said, if you have the bobblehead, you're bobbling all around, and as soon as you hear chime, you're gone and you're not getting things done. You're like, everybody else is doing great. How come I'm not doing great things? Well, great things take time to build, but guess what? If you start now, 2020 gonna look really good. Ask the ladies, and if you didn't been here before, when this year start, I said it to Terry and Fran. I said, people are going to be the end of this year still scratching their heads, wondering, how did the year went by and I did nothing?
Mm.
Or I did all I can, but nothing happened. Well, most time it's because you didn't do all you can. You did some of what you can. You did some of what you shouldn't do. And now we're at the month before Christmas, and we're like, what do I do with myself? All right. So without any further ado, today we talked about when you work hard, how you fall off. And part of working hard is getting every day ducks in a row. We cover giving yourself permission to be messy. It's got to be messy even if you didn't give yourself permission. So you might as well do it. And self correct when need be. Okay, self correct. And then rephrase any and all words that have negative connotations, because when they're in your head and they're playing over and over and over, they become part of you, and it becomes something that you think it's okay to do when it's not. And you're not giving yourself and allowing yourself to be all you can be. And number four was ask yourself, what's next? And get it done ASAP. Ask the question. When you get the answer, write it down. What's next? What's the next phase of my business? What's the next phase of growing me into a better person? So that's where personal development. And what's the next phase of my business? Where do I want to see it go and grow? Even if you had written this out a long time ago, go back and revisit, see where things have to be, and get it set up. Listen, guys, my calendar is probably halfway done already for 2020, and we're in 2019. Like, my calendar for what's going to happen in 2020 is getting done. Okay. All right.
All right, beautiful. We just, we just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and those of you who are watching on the replay, because we know that you're busy, we're busy, because you're running a profitable business. It's fun to run.
Yes.
Coach, we really appreciate everything that you pour into us. We're looking forward to your program, the 4 hour workday.
Yes.
Yeah, now you already saved money by virtue of the fact that you're knocking 4 hours off of your day.
Right.
So take that money and invest in yourself and join Coach Karen's program.
Mhm.
Now, if you need technical help with your streaming and things of that nature, you want to contact the Biz Chicks. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And we'd be happy to book you an appointment. You can go over to bizchicks.net and book an appointment. With that, we just want to say thank you again for tuning in. And don't forget to go to the front of your own line. Have a great day.